Okay, so you've been looking at gold and silver and thinking that that's exactly what you want to be doing for the rest of the year, right? I beg to differ, and I'll tell you why. Let me get rid of this thing. You get the point here. You're going to be grabbing this stuff, you're going to be keeping it all the way down to where other people should be buying it. So this is what I want to show you here. Excuse me, got a bad cold or a bad something or other. So we had this big massive move in silver, like truly a sight to behold. And I'll be perfectly candid with you, I missed a lot of the move. Unlike some of our members, because I'd have guys saying like, "Hey, man, you really want to be looking at silver as well as gold." And so I did after a while, but I kind of missed, I'll just be honest with you, I missed the meat of the move, but I didn't miss the end. And this is what I'm talking about. So you've got this thing, it's going up. It's precious metal. Oh, there's no way it's going to go down. It's, the antithesis of the fiat currency. It's got industrial uses. It goes on and on and on. Any number of reasons why you want to be owning silver and you keep buying it. Look at, my gosh, look at the volume. It's massive. Oh, crap. That's a problem there. That was last Friday. Oh, it's a one-day wonder where it's all good, not a problem at all. Any day now, it's going to keep going up. It's going up again. There it is. There it is. And it keep it going all the way up until the time that it didn't. Okay. So what are we going to do with this thing now? Let's say you're still in it. This is the way I envision this chart going. Forget about this stuff down here. This was from something else. But I was having a long session with some of my members today, and we were talking about envisioning, which is to be looking at a chart and saying, okay, if I'm going to be trading this stock, what do I think can happen? In other words, if I'm bullish on this stock, then I need to be able to draw on the chart the line of where this stock should go based on the millions of charts. And if you're newer, thousands of charts, hundreds of thousands of charts that I've seen, so that I'm not looking at this saying, wow, this time is different. In other words, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, if this performs according to the way so many other charts that I've seen in the past have performed, this is going to be a pretty good trade. So that's what you need to be looking at before you actually take a stock. You have to be looking at it and you have to be able to envision what's going to happen. And it cannot be based on this time it will be different, or I've got a hunch, so I'll buy a bunch. That's just wishful thinking. It's hope. It's a common strategy, rarely used for success. And so you want to be looking at this stuff and making a decision as far as what needs to happen. Now, when I was doing this, this was the first line that I drew. And what I said was, I'll just go ahead and make this green. I said, I can pretty much assure you that this is not going to happen. Like, you're not going to see another thrust higher here. It's just gone up so much that this stock is going to need some time to kind of regroup. And if it's going to ultimately go high, I mean, look, ultimately it will. Life is long. But is this something that we want to be buying right now? Because, hey, man, it's down at the 8-day EMA. Look what happened. This is definitely the time to buy. And what I'm saying is this: these are the lines that I envision for this stock. I could see this stock falling down just like it does here. And so if I do decide that ultimately I want to buy silver, I don't have to I don't have to rush in and get it now. I'm not going to miss a damn thing if I don't buy it right here. Oh my gosh, it's January 2nd. It's Friday. I got to go buy me some silver because it's down. No, there's so much energy, so much buying energy has been spent already in pushing this stock up that the only way that it would have fallen like it has here is if all this buying energy has run its course. There's like no more there, which means that now all there are are profit takers and like dried up bids. And that's why this stock has done what it's done. So my suggestion to you, rather than be Gollum and want to hang on to your precious silver, or gold for that matter, same difference here. Rather than just try to hang on to this and hang on to it, guys, this has already made a heck of a move here. So why don't you just say, thank you, sir, may I have another, and move on to something else. Give these stocks time to regroup. Give the 50-day moving average time to catch up. You got to give this time to catch up. The best times to buy these stocks, and I know they're ETFs, they're gold, but they're charts. The best time to buy these are when they're closer to the moving averages, because then by definition, they are not expensive. If a stock is trading right about the average price over the last 50 days, that's not expensive. That's average. So this is still, if you're looking at things in that context, this is still a pretty expensive stock. This is still not as expensive as silver, but this is still an expensive stock. It's up too high. So give this stuff room to work for a while. Don't just rush in and buy it, okay? All right, now this is the last video I'm doing before the end of the year. It's been a heck of a year for me. I'm sure it has for you as well. It just kind of seems like it has been for everybody. So whether you're a member or not a member of Stock Option or Crypto Market Mentor, I want to wish you all the best in the year to come, all the best in what's left of 2025. Don't be doing anything stupid tonight. Let other people do the stupid stuff. You just stay home and watch it on TV, hopefully anyway. But what I want to say is that I appreciate your attention. I appreciate all the faith you put in me and Scott and Sam and Andy. What we do, we really are focused on trying to help you be successful. That's kind of what gets us up in the morning. So I'm going to dedicate 2026 actually to you, to the trader who's striving for greater success. You're going to see a book of mine come out, should be in the latter part of January. We're just working on some things. We actually have a pre-launch team that's doing some reviewing and giving me feedback on it. It's called the 7 Deadly Trading Mistakes and How to Fix Them. So watch for that book. Definitely something that you should consider getting. It's not going to be very expensive at all, but I can promise you this. If you just do the things that I'm talking about in that book, I guarantee you it will be the best damn trade you've ever made. Okay? All right. So that's all I got for you. Hope that you have a fun evening and an awesome 2026, and I'll see you on the backside on Friday.